Hey, what's up, guys? It's Flackfire. Thanks for joining me here today. I've actually got some gameplay of the Division's open beta. Got a couple of my friends here, and we're going to take on the cleaners in the Subway Morgue mission. And the cleaners here, honestly, from a distance, they don't look that intimidating, especially when you're able to shoot the flammable containers on their back, and they kind of do a fun dance and then explode. But if they get up close to you, you are in some serious trouble here. And you're going to get to see that as I die at least a couple of times. A couple of my friends die here too, but of course we prevail. You're going to see a lot of gameplay that shows off the scoping abilities of the various guns in here, and how easy it is to snipe, and other different things you're going to run into with this game. But let's talk about Tom Clancy's The Division here. I played the closed beta, love the closed beta. If you're wondering why I'm not moving right now while I'm being shot, it's because I'm eating delicious guacamole at this point in time. And you know what? Priorities. I chose delicious guacamole over my own health. And I feel like that's a decision everybody has made at some point during their life, so I'm not going to apologize for it. But played the closed beta, really enjoyed it, really liked playing the open beta. I had a lot more friends who were online and willing to play, so that was very nice. There were some significant changes between the two. Of course, number one, what we're seeing right here, fighting the cleaners, a new enemy faction, and there are several enemy factions that we'll see for the Division. Cleaners are one of them. You've got Rikers. You've got the Last Man Company or Last Man Battalion. It's something like that. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but looks very much like a private military contractor type deal. You got the people from Rikers Island who were prisoners who escaped, rioters, all kinds of fun stuff. So this game really presents you with a wide variety of enemies, and if they're anything like the cleaners definitely play a bit different than what we saw in the first mission, where we were fighting some rioters in a hospital. Significantly different in terms of gameplay. In my opinion, pretty enjoyable, this mission here, and that's due in a large part to the surrounding environment that we're in right now. Compared to playing that hospital mission, this environment was significantly different, and that's nice when you have that in a game, because it makes things feel less repetitive. And another thing here, that a lot of our objectives were different than that hospital mission. Hospital mission, you had to protect these people, help them escape. For this one, you're doing a lot of sweeping, clearing, and restoring power by completing different objectives. So it makes the mission seem fresh and different. So definitely appreciate that aspect of this mission here as well. I know a lot of people are making comparisons between Tom Clancy's The Division and Homefront: The Revolution. Again, if you've read my impressions about Homefront: The Revolution, I will tell you... Hang on, I got to take another guacamole break here. I will tell you that they are very, very different games. A lot of the plot seems kind of similar in that, you're this one-man army kind of up against, and a really bad situation, I guess, but games play totally differently. That being said, Division way more polished than Homefront: The Revolution was in its beta form. Still enjoyed Homefront: The Revolution. It was a first-person shooter. This one is a third-person shooter. And this one is in particular cooperative for the main part of the game here. Homefront: The Revolution has a multiplayer cooperative mode called Resistance Mode, and it did quite a bit of cool things. If you want to check out my impressions of the game, I'll put a link here on the screen. But this game, The Division, just flows really, really well when you're playing with a group of people, and it flows so much better if they're friends. So very, very well done. I can't believe this is a beta, honestly. I did not run into really any issues at all. Certainly nothing game-breaking. Keep in mind that, I play Fallout 4 a lot, so it takes a lot for me to consider something game-breaking. But I love the environments in this game here. It really adds to the gravity of the supposed storyline about, the virus hitting New York and all this bad stuff happening. You just saw in that room back there, it's basically filled with bodies. And that tells you, it's not there just to look creepy and be like, ooh, a room full of bodies. That's Ubisoft actually making a serious effort to tell a story, in the sense that, look at how fast this infection overtook the general population. They did not have time to bury their dead. They're pretty much laying where they fell in the streets. That is in a bad spot. It kind of drives home that this would be that situation where, the Division is activated, and you actually have to go out and kind of pull the city's head out of its ass, which, is not a fun position to be in, but it's certainly an admirable one. So playing this part of the game and trying to help these people and do all this stuff, really, Ubisoft did a great job of trying to make you feel like you were part of something. So I got to give them commendation for doing that. Really, really great job. Again, look here, you've got coffins draped with the American flag, so those are military people, perhaps police officers, firefighters, something along those lines, but they couldn't even bury their own guys. And again, that tells you just how quickly this pandemic overtook the general population. And you can see here, I think that my teammates have my back at this moment, otherwise I wouldn't have tried to shoot this guy. Don't know how I missed him, but had I known they were screwing around in the room behind me there, I wouldn't have done that, because I went scope blind and now I'm being axe murdered, and it kind of sucks. But I did throw out my turret before I died, so that's able to kind of mop up for me, and now my teammates are coming to pick me up. Thanks, Trevor, if you're watching this. Appreciate it. That does bring up another point there, that the different enemies in this game, although the cleaners, generally have flamethrowers and that kind of stuff, you just saw one of their melee characters, which has, a riot shield and an axe. And they behave in terms of AI like what you would expect somebody with that equipment set to do. And they try to run at you and flank you, and you'll see it again here in a few minutes that you kind of got to cover your buddy's back here if you want to make it very far in the Division. So we'll check out this scene here. I really love the gunplay in this. It's very easy to get a hold of. You can see somebody's trying to flank us with that shield over here. You're able to take him down before he gets to the rest of your group. Again, it is nice that if you hit the tank and it starts flaming, even after they die, it still explodes. I really like that. I have a feeling that was probably more difficult to do than you would imagine. So it's nice that, if you are lucky enough to hit that tank or skilled enough to hit it, that the game continues to reward you with it exploding, even if that enemy dies. So it's pretty great. And for whatever reason, I just could not hit very many people with that scope that day, so. Did get that guy, though, so that's good. lots of different kinds of weapons in Tom Clancy's The Division. Granted, we're playing the beta here. I don't know how many more different types of weapons we're going to see. My answer is that we should always see more, no matter how many there are. I just want... I don't know if it's that hardcore RPG player in me, but I want a collection of guns. And I want a lot of them. I want choices. I want the ability to choose and customize fully what it is that I'm going to take into combat. So, I own a couple guns myself. It would be real nice to be able to, apply those in-game, which is, probably not going to happen because the guns that I own are somewhat obscure. If you want to check it out, you can look up a Swiss 1911 long rifle. Probably not very practical for combat anymore, but it was pretty nice when it came out in 1911. I don't know how well it worked on the streets of New York, but I'd love the ability to bring that with me. So the more weapons we see here, the better. I really hope they don't get kind of lazy and do the thing where they say, this is a different weapon because it's burst fire and, this and that, and I think that's kind of lazy. So I want to see a real wide variety of weapons here. I thought this was a friendly grenade, and it's not, so I'm now on fire. I do like that it tells you are on fire, so that's pretty nice. Another thing here to mention with The Division, that sadly if you go through and you complete a mission and you find a crate, it's not there for you when you go back to complete it a second time. I really wish that it would still be there. I guess this is Ubisoft's way of trying to make sure that you don't get too overpowered too quickly or something along those lines. But I look at it as, I'm completing that mission. You should get the reward that everybody else does. A little bit sucky. I wish that they would change that in the full release of the game, but totally get it if they don't. Another thing that I want to bring up here is the navigational system that's used in The Division. Again, bringing up Homefront the Revolution's beta, they did not really have this. You had to use the mini-map to find out where you needed to go, and there wasn't anything else there for you. I do like that in The Division, you have that nice little bright orange string that points out exactly where you need to go. And, there's no question about it. You don't get lost because it does a great job of keeping you on track. It's a great addition to the game. Absolutely love it. And it helps the gameplay that much smoother. See, and I just could not hit anything here today, so that's how it goes sometimes, but at least I'm not on fire, so this is exciting for me. I'm gonna bail out my teammates here. Multi-kill headshot. Exciting stuff there. Do appreciate the ability to mod your weapons all different kinds of ways. You just saw me pick up a laser pointer. Probably not going to use laser pointers too much. I like aiming down the sight as opposed to hip firing. So, still nice to have the option though. And I know a lot of people prefer that kind of stuff. I think I'm taking another guacamole break here. Again, with this game, I like that it's not the same thing every time in terms of what you're doing, like a fetch quest or something like that. For this one here, you have to move those relay boxes and turn on some switches, and with the hospital mission, you had to do a bit of an escort and, sweep for that. So it's nice. It feels different, especially with the environments being as different as they are. And you can tell I've played this mission before because I know where the enemies are going to come out, so it's kind of enabling me to set up an ambush here. Unfortunately, my game glitched a little bit, and I was not able to hear what the guy in the control room was saying, so I didn't know exactly when they were going to come out of this door, so I decided to just throw that out there and wait, and I wound up wasting about half my turret's life because I didn't know when the bad guys were going to come out of this door. So Ubisoft, if you're listening and could fix that, that would be great. But you know, hey, otherwise I'll manage. So we all kind of set up an ambush here, and they all went down pretty quickly. I'm curious to hear what you guys want to say about The Division. Did you get to play the open or closed beta? Tell me what you thought about it. I'd really like to know. I actually canceled my pre-order for The Division. Don't panic, though. It's because I decided to reorder The Division, but the special edition that included the season pass, because I foresee myself playing this quite a bit when it's released here next month. So very, very excited about it. I do appreciate the ability here to be able to scope in if you want to. And you can see I didn't have to scope in to do that. So it's kind of like somewhere between a hip fire and a scope shot. That's pretty nice. So you can have a wider field of view if you'd like. And you don't have to worry about going scope blind like what happened to me earlier when I got axe murdered. But this is quite a bit of fun. And again, love the different variations in enemies here. You got the real heavy elite enemy. You got a couple melee characters, and you've got some couple standard assault guys. One thing I dislike is being on fire. I don't really know how I caught fire there, but apparently I did. And my teammate did not notice me there, so my other teammate had to pick me up. But you know what? This game is just so much fun. I love it. It plays so smooth. Didn't really have any issues with frame rate stutters or anything. It played absolutely wonderfully. I do like that you're able to really gear up before you head out into the dark zone. I did play in the dark zone quite a bit more here for the open beta, and I feel like there were more rogues this time around. I don't know if that was your experience, but man, on some servers there were people who were just waiting for you right when you walked through the gate to enter the dark zone. They would just wait for you. So there were a couple times that I had to leave and then come back and try something else out because that was just not fun. Going rogue is not a fun time. Other things that I noticed in the beta, we had the addition of that turret gun. The turret gun, way more useful than I thought it was going to be. I did learn something interesting about the turret gun, and that is that if you put your turret gun out and somebody shoots you, but it doesn't go rogue, your turret gun recognizes them as hostile and will shoot them and will cause you to go rogue. And that kind of sucks. So I really hope that they don't decide to do that for the full game, so they patch that so it will only engage rogue players. Because there's at least one time in the DZ where I put out my turret and it hit somebody who hadn't quite gone rogue yet, and then my entire team got wiped. It was not fun. But other than that, I've really enjoyed my time with The Division. Really thrilled I got a chance to play both the closed and open beta. Did you guys get a chance to play? Let me know in the comments. Did it influence your decision to either pick up the game, maybe cancel a pre-order, maybe order up on your pre-order like I did? Let me know in the comments box. Also, I'm at over 350 subscribers, so very exciting there. Going to probably be doing some giveaways here in the future, so if you could like, share, and subscribe. That would be great. That will help me get a little bit more money to put towards some kind of giveaway. And, as always, thanks for watching.
Vault door cycling sequence.